Hi, I wanted to review this Mantis Tiller. It's a model 7940, and I use this thing in our garden and on some other projects all the time, and I love it, and I just wanted to go through it with you. So Mantis offers several different tillers. I think there's 4 right now on their website, and I also think if you look around, they make a special model for Lowe's. But they make 2 2-stroke tillers and 2 4-stroke tillers. This is the 7940. It is the smaller of the 2 4-stroke tillers. To simplify what a 4-stroke is, you don't have to have mixed oil with the gas. You use gasoline, and then in the actual engine itself, you have motor oil in there. And I chose that because I wanted something that was a 4-stroke that I didn't have to worry about another mix gas, and I just think that the longevity of this Honda is going to last longer if I maintenance it properly with the 4-stroke. So the 7940 is a 25cc 9-inch width tilling or cultivating, and I'll talk about that here in a moment. It weighs 24 pounds in the entire unit. If you really work at it, the manual says it can till down to 10 inches deep. That's really having to work at it, and probably really good soil conditions. What I like about this, one, it's a Honda, and this thing is pretty quiet. It starts super easy. There's a very simple starting method. There's a choke, and there's a primer. Up here, there's a primer, and it's a 1 or 2 pull. Now we also have the kill switch here, and really it's as simple to get this started as just choke. I always give it 1 prime push just because. So just to start it, it's simple to. So to start it, it's just a simple flip of the switch, choke on. I always like to prime it once, and yeah, 1, 2 pulls. A couple things of maintenance on this: drain the gas out of it before you put it away. I always just drain it out, let it run empty, so there's nothing in the carburetor. That's good and clean and dry. Clean it up, get the dirt and dust off of it, and that's really kind of it. There are some maintenance things that Honda has in their manual, as far as the spark arrestor in the exhaust, cleaning that out. Everything being equal, I love everything about this tiller. I think it's a reasonable price. I think it does a great job for maintenance work in a garden. I don't think I would want to till a deep till in my garden, but for doing some touch-up work, as you're going to see in the video, and I do a lot of area, 22 by 50 area in the video, 22 foot by 50 foot, and it doesn't take too awful long to go through all that. This thing will really work through hard dirt. What it doesn't do a good job of is anything wet. But I think that's kind of the mantra for most tillers, is that wet soil doesn't till. So another really cool thing that this Mantis Tiller does is how the tines work. So there are 2 modes for these tines. Notice how they're pointing downward here. That is in till mode, and that's where you can get to your 10-inch deep depth. If we were to flip them around where the tines go backwards, so we would switch sides, that is in cultivate mode, and that has a depth of about 4 inches. which is really designed to get in there and just weed your garden, which is nice if you get behind, you take a summer vacation, you come back, your garden is trashed with weeds, your kids don't want to help you. Fire this thing up and really take care of a lot of those weeds. Now, the one or a couple other little things that happen that are somewhat frustrating but easily to fix. Viney, you can see the vines wrapped around the tines there. The beauty to this is the simplicity of getting those tines off and changing out this attachment. So to swap out tines, it's as simple as pulling this pin and pulling that off. You can see I get a lot of stuff that wraps up in there. It gets into the bearings, so we try to keep this clean. A little bird's nest. Take a look at those tines. If we flip it around to the other side, this is in cultivate mode. They only go on one certain way. There's attachments that this has. Well, here, there's attachments for this tiller. This is an edger attachment. So it comes with an edger for this side or either side, and then the opposing side has a solid wheel. You just find the key and put back in the pin, and you've changed out that attachment. They've got many attachments. Watch, I bought this directly from Mantis on their site. Oftentimes they have a sale where you might be able to get the edger along with the tiller. That's when I purchased it, there was a deal going on where you got both. I don't remember if we paid for shipping or not. In today's world, paying for shipping is sometimes frustrating, since so many people do free shipping. I saw they had a hard brush attachment for cleaning out edges of sidewalks and your cut cracks in your driveway. I thought that would be a really nice thing. It was on their site. I haven't started this for several hours today. I started around lunchtime, and it's 8 o'clock, so 8 hours. I love it. It's a 1 or 2 pull start. It has a choke. I push the prime button one time, turn the choke, and pull the handle. An on-off switch up on the handle to shut it down. I'm going to set up the camera, but you see how easy it is. This thing, it gets real deep. You can kind of see why I worked up over there. It gets real deep when you pull it backwards. And I was just working up that ground just to kind of dry it out a little bit. But this Mantis does a really good job of really just breaking that up. I recorded kind of the overview a few days ago, so let me switch gears. We were using the Mantis today, and I had put the and I'll zoom in here. I had put the edger attachment, and the more I think about it, I actually don't think I probably know how to run an edger correctly. So I'll just show you what I think I'm supposed to do. I was watching another video on edging today, and like what it was the grass had grown over the concrete, and they ran that edger down the edge of the concrete and then took that sod, that had grown on the concrete itself, and then discarded that. I can assure you there is no way that I would ever let just my driveway sidewalk get that over covered with grass where I wouldn't have just done something with the weed eater to just push it back. So what I always thought an edger would do would be to kind of create a line, a spacing, if you will, at your concrete versus where your grass, so that you have this like no man, like I always thought of it like the demilitarized zone between grass and concrete. And you guys I'll probably have a billion comments on this, like why I'm wrong or not very smart about edging. But what I wanted to show is how, and I'll set this camera up so we can see it, just how this Mantis, how I kind of do it, and how it, I think it does a really good job of just kind of cleaning up that edge. So without further ado, let me get this set up for you guys. This is cold Mantis. It hasn't been on. So there's an on-off switch again up on the handle. Choke is here. If you can see that, here's the choke on this. There's a priming bulb right in there. And what I hope is that this doesn't cause me any trouble, which it has never caused me trouble. Okay, so one start, one pull, it fired up, it ran, kind of died out because it didn't have any, or the choke was on. And just like that, it's gonna sit there and purr. Oh, a little rough. All right, just like it. There we go. Just like that. That's why I love this thing. It's 2-3 pulls and it runs fantastic. You can see on this before I get going, just so I'm not cheating, where I have edged in the past and kind of clean that up. So I'm just going to work right back through that same line. Okay, so I made a mess all the way down. I probably should have come back and repositioned the camera for you guys, but yeah, I mean, you can see I clearly and pretty quickly left a distinct line down through there. So everything's pushed back. I'm going to get the blower and blow a lot of this out. Now, what I don't like about this edger, what I do like about this edger is that it came free with the Mantis. What I don't care for is, I don't know, it's gonna fall over. Like, I know myself well enough, like, it's gonna fall over. I'm gonna knock it over if I leave it on here like this. So, now if I'm, working with this, what I do is just leave it on in the dirt, and that'll, level it up. Just something to keep in mind. Like, honestly, there's things like that you own that if it breaks, you're disappointed, but you go out and buy the exact same thing. This is one of those items for me. I don't have a lot of those in my life. Things that I'm like, oh, I would definitely repurchase that. The things are very few and far between. So it's a big statement for me that this, in my opinion, takes so much work out of that fine tuning of your garden. If you're into if you believe in tilling, so argument I'm not having on this conversation at all. A lot of people don't like to do the tilling. They like to use raised beds, but if you're traditional, I'm a traditional, very old school mindset, come from a farming family, as you know from We Farm with Junk if you follow my page. So I believe in tilling, trying to till the ground. Our process is that. It's just that. And with that process and the size of our garden, to keep weeds out, to not spend my entire time, free time in that garden working on weeding, where I can maintenance the garden in a shorter amount of time, this Mantis, bar none, best tool that I have. It gets the job done. This is the second season with it, so this is not a brand new machine. You saw how easy it started up. It runs great. It's put fuel in it, and I make sure I drain the fuel in it through the winter. And run it completely dry. So there's nothing in the tank. It's completely dry. I'd have to go back and look at the book. I can't remember if you're supposed to fog those. I don't think you are, but I'd have to go back and look, so I don't have a comment on that. I love this thing. I would buy 5 more of them if I had the need for it. I will have a Mantis Tiller. It is the perfect maintenance tiller for me. And it just runs so great. And I love that little Honda on it. It runs, you saw it, you heard it. It runs great. It runs fast, and it just gets the job done. If you're looking for this, if you value my opinion at all, whatever. If you value my opinion at all, this Mantis Tiller is fantastic. No hesitations, no regrets. Buy one if you are even considering it. That's my review. Comment below if you have any questions or if you have anything you want to say. If you want me to respond back to you, you can get with me in the comments below. You can follow me on Facebook. We Farm with Junk is the Facebook page. It's public. It's just of our farm life, family farm. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, if this was helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more of these types of videos. I do some product reviews of the things that I use around our house and farm. I'm not doing these product reviews for any type of monetary. I'm not being, that cat just ran by. I'm not being paid by Mantis or Honda. These are just the tools that I use every day, and I want to share part of our farming channel, We Farm with Junk. Just share that, these tools that we use, and if it helps someone else make a decision or something that they're doing, or looking at something that helps them feel comfortable in that buy, that's what I want. Or if it's something that I just have had a bad experience with, and I'm going to share that, I'm going to share it as well. Thanks, guys, for taking the time to watch this today. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks.